All right, what's going on, guys? It's Luke here. Let me just make sure we're recording here. Yeah, so gonna run through this trade recap really quick. We had an eval winning trade today. I had two entries on this trade. Because check the Discord, you'll see I passed the eval with the 53K balance. This is the executions on the second trade. I just got to get the executions on the first trade. I'm just not logged into that account right now. I'll try to post them later in the Discord. But basically, I'm going to run through this pretty quick. I don't have too much time today, but we're going to run through this. And basically, coming into the day, I had a bullish bias overall. I actually wanted to see price continue up to take out these buy side draws up here. We had this high, and London high. All there. But I said if we did get manipulation lower, we took out London low, we took out Asia low, we could see if we could get, a reversal out of this gap right here. It had already been filled here, but if we got a sweep of these lows, we could seek a reversal back there. I posted that in the analysis this morning. So basically from there, we had a continued sell-off from market open, and I seen that we had left an unbalanced 15-minute gap. So as you can see, this was market open. We just completely dumped down, consolidated and dumped down. And from here, we had left, like I said, a 15-minute unfilled fair value gap right here. So I figured that if price was going to rebalance, it was probably going to want to come in and fill this 15-minute gap before it either continued lower or it was going to inverse it and go higher. But this gap would probably need to get rebalanced after that huge dump to the downside. Price is always going to want to rebalance and fill those unfilled gaps. So I seen this 15-minute unfilled. I'm like, okay, maybe we can look for some type of like MECH model trade. We just swept out sell side. We tapped into the higher time frame gap. Let's see if we can come back in and rebalance price and catch that reversal. So basically, I scaled down and I was looking for the highest time frame inverse to kind of take an entry on this trade. And the first entry I took off the 30-second. We had this initial sweep down, and we ended up getting a 30-second inversion. I don't know exactly where it was. My entry was around 95 or 96. I gave my stop a ton of room because I wanted a one-to-one to the start of that 15-minute gap because I knew that at some point we were probably going to manipulate lower. So luckily I did because we almost literally got stopped out. Price came down, manipulates this low, and then it continues up. So again, I entered off a 30-second inversion, targeting all this low resistance buy-side liquidity into this 15-minute gap. So I was risking heavy on this trade. I literally just wanted a one-to-one in order to pass this eval. That was it. And I figured that if I could just run this 40-point stop flat, I could have the one-to-one into that, and I could pretty much just pass the eval on that. So that was the first entry on this trade. Again, we came down, swept out sell side. We look for the highest time frame inverse. We take the 30-second. We get in on the retrace, and I just ran the stop just enough to give me a one-to-one into that 15-minute unfilled. Then from there, we let price play out, and I actually go on another account at this point. I didn't get to notify about this one because we were still sitting in the other one, and I was kind of distracted. But we ended up getting a 1-minute inverse right here, which is, again, the highest time frame inverse at that time. We don't have anything on the 3-minute, the 2-minute. So on the 1-minute, we have this 1-minute gap right here. It gets inversed. We come back in and retrace into it, and I take the entry right here. So I run my stops right here below this 1-minute gap right here, and I basically just target enough to give me the 1500 consistency. I didn't pass the second one, but this one gave me the plus 1500. I passed this one, and then this one gave me the plus 1500. So super great day on evals. Made good progress on one and then passed the other. I'll post the certificate and everything later when I get a chance. But again, basically just a simple MECH model. Came down, swept out sell side. We have a clear 15-minute gap that wants to get rebalanced, likely to give price guidance, either to want to push price lower or to inverse and go higher. We get the first entry off the 30-second inverse. We run the 40-point stop flat, which obviously I know is a big stop loss. I ideally don't want to run that, but this was just to pass an eval, heavy risk, and trying to get that one-to-one. Second entry, we take the 1-minute inverse, we get in on the retrace, and we pretty much TP at the full 1500 for the consistency because this was an MFFU eval for both of them. So obviously, ideally, if I was like taking this trade with like funded, or if I had more room to hold, I would have held to the CE point of this 15-minute gap, or I would have held to see these highs right here, these internal highs get taken out, which would have gave a lot better of a risk reward. So if you held up to there, you would have got about a 2.9 R trade. But again, we didn't need that for this trade. This was just in and out, risking heavy, trying to catch a low risk reward trade. That's how I've been, trading with these MECH models. They're low risk to reward, but you can go heavier on the sizing. So that's it for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll be back with a weekly outlook this week. Again, link for the Discord is in the pinned comment. Link for Alpha Futures is in the pinned comment. That's it for me. Join the Discord if you guys want to see more in-depth education, everything in there. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.